There comes a moment in every person's life when the noise is loud and becoming the voice inside. The doubts grow stronger. The fears feel heavier. The obstacles appear taller than our dreams. And in that moment, the most powerful decision you will ever make is this: to believe in yourself. Believing in yourself is not arrogance. It is not pretending to be perfect. It is not ignoring your weaknesses. It is choosing to trust that despite your flaws, despite your past, despite your fears, you are capable of greatness. It is understanding that potential lives inside you, waiting for courage to awaken. Every success story you admire began with belief. Before the applause, before the recognition, before the breakthrough, there was a person who decided not to quit. Someone who refused to let circumstances define their destiny. Someone who looked at impossibility and said, I will try anyway. You may not have the best background. You may not have the strongest support system. You may have failed before, once, twice, maybe many times. But failure is not proof that you cannot succeed. It is proof that you tried. And every attempt makes you stronger, wiser, and more prepared. The world will test you. People may doubt you. Some may laugh at your dreams. But remember this: nobody can see your vision the way you can. Nobody can feel your passion the way you do. And nobody else is responsible for fighting for your future. Believing in yourself means standing up when you fall. It means choosing discipline over excuses. It means pushing forward when motivation fades. Because belief is not a feeling, it is a commitment. There will be days when progress feels invisible. Days when results seem far away. Days when quitting feels easier than continuing. But those are the days that build champions. Those are the days that separate dreamers from achievers. Your mind is powerful. What you repeatedly tell yourself becomes your reality. If you constantly say, I can't, your actions will follow. But if you declare, I can learn, I can grow, I can improve, your brain begins searching for solutions instead of excuses. Do not wait for confidence to magically appear. Confidence grows through action. The more you try, the more you improve. The more you improve, the more you believe. And the more you believe, the more doors open. Anything is possible does not mean everything is easy. It means everything is achievable with persistence, resilience, and unwavering belief. Mountains are climbed step by step. Success is built day by day. Greatness is earned through consistency. You are stronger than your fears. You are greater than your doubts. You are more capable than you think. Inside you is potential that the world has not yet seen. Dreams that have not yet been realized. Achievements that have not yet been unlocked. But they require one key: belief. When you believe in yourself, you walk differently. You speak differently. You act differently. Your energy shifts. Opportunities begin to align because you are no longer hiding from your greatness. Self-belief is not something that magically appears when everything in your life is going well. It is not a sudden rush of confidence that stays with you forever. It is not dependent on applause, validation, or perfect circumstances. Self-belief is a conscious choice. It is a decision you make, especially on the days you feel uncertain, afraid, or unprepared. Feelings are unstable. They change with situations. One day you may feel confident, the next day you may feel doubtful. If you wait for the right feeling before you act, you may wait forever. But when you understand that belief is a decision, you take control. You act even when you are nervous. You step forward even when you are unsure. You try again even when you feel tired. Making the decision to believe in yourself means saying, I may not know everything yet, but I am capable of learning. It means telling yourself, I may not be perfect, but I am improving. It means choosing to trust your potential even when results are not visible. There will be moments when your emotions try to convince you to quit. Fear will whisper that you are not ready. Doubt will remind you of past mistakes. Insecurity will compare you to others. But belief is the firm voice that responds. I am not defined by my past. I am not limited by comparison. I am growing every day. A self-belief as a decision requires discipline. It requires mental strength. It requires you to guard your thoughts carefully. You must challenge negative self-talk. You must replace I can't with I will try. You must shift from what if I fail to what if I succeed. When you treat belief as a decision, you stop depending on motivation. Motivation fades, but decisions stay firm. A decision creates commitment. Commitment creates action. Action creates progress. And then progress strengthens belief. Choosing to believe in yourself also means accepting responsibility for your growth. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop waiting for someone to rescue you. You stop using fear as an excuse. Instead, you say, if it is to be, it is up to me. This decision changes how you respond to challenges. Instead of seeing obstacles as proof you are not capable, you see them as opportunities to prove you are stronger than you thought. Instead of viewing setbacks as signs to quit, you see them as lessons that refine you. Belief does not eliminate fear. It empowers you to move despite it. It does not guarantee immediate success, but it guarantees that you will keep trying. And often the difference between those who succeed and those who give up is not talent or luck. It is the decision to keep believing. Every morning you wake up, you have two options: doubt yourself or trust yourself. One leads to hesitation. The other leads to growth. One keeps you stuck. The other moves you forward. The moment you understand that belief is a choice, you stop waiting for confidence to arrive and you start building it through action. You become intentional about your mindset. You become protective of your dreams. You become committed to your progress. Self-belief is not about always feeling strong. It is about deciding that even when you feel weak, you will not give up on yourself. Where you come from may shape your early experiences, but it does not have the authority to dictate where you are going. Your background is the starting point of your story, not the conclusion. It may influence your perspective, your struggles, and even your opportunities, but it does not control your potential unless you allow it to. Many people grow up believing that their environment defines their limits. If they were born into poverty, they believe wealth is out of reach. If they faced rejection, they assume success will always avoid them. If they lacked education, they convince themselves intelligence belongs to others. But history, experience, and countless success stories prove something powerful. Your circumstances are temporary, but your determination can be permanent. You may not have had the best resources. You may not have been surrounded by encouragement. You may have faced obstacles that others never had to face. But sometimes those very challenges build resilience, creativity, and strength that comfort never could. Pressure can either break you or build you. The difference lies in your mindset. Your background can become your excuse or your fuel. It can be the reason you stop trying or the reason you push harder. When you choose to use it as fuel, your struggles transform into motivation. The pain becomes purpose. The obstacles become stepping stones instead of barriers. There are people who started with nothing and built something extraordinary, not because life was easy for them, but because they refused to let their beginnings define their endings. They understood that growth is possible for anyone willing to learn, adapt, and persist. It is important to understand that the world may label you based on where you come from. People may assume your limitations. They may underestimate you. They may judge you unfairly, but their perception is not your destiny. Their opinion is not your future. You are not required to live within the expectations of others. Your future is shaped by your daily choices, not your past conditions. Every skill can be developed. Every weakness can be improved. Every mistake can become a lesson. Education can be gained. Confidence can be built. Networks can be created. Doors can be opened through effort and persistence. Do not compare your starting line to someone else's middle point. Some people begin with advantages, others begin with challenges. But the race is not about who starts ahead, it is about who keeps moving forward. Even if your past includes failure, trauma, or disappointment, it does not mean your future must repeat it. You have the power to break cycles. You have the ability to create a new direction. You can choose growth over limitation, learning over fear, action over hesitation. Your background is part of your story, but it is not the whole story. It gives you perspective. It gives you character. It gives you lessons. But your vision, your work ethic, and your belief in yourself are what determine how the next chapters are written. The moment you stop blaming your past and start building your future, everything shifts. You begin to focus on solutions instead of limitations. You begin to take responsibility for your progress. You begin to realize that no matter where you started, you are not stuck there. Your past may explain you, but it does not confine you. Your future is built by the courage you show today. Failure is often misunderstood. Many people see failure as a final verdict, a confirmation that they are not good enough, smart enough, or strong enough. But in reality, failure is not a full stop. It is a comma. It is not the end of the journey. It is a necessary part of the process. Every meaningful achievement carries a history of setbacks behind it. Every accomplished individual has faced rejection, mistakes, disappointment, and moments of doubt. What separates those who succeed from those who quit is not the absence of failure, but the interpretation of it. Failure is preparation because it teaches what success cannot. When you fail, you are forced to analyze, to reflect, to adjust. You discover weaknesses you did not know existed. You uncover gaps in your strategy. You learn patience. You develop resilience. These lessons become the foundation for future victories. Defeat only becomes real when you decide to stop trying. As long as you are willing to rise again, you have not been defeated. You are being refined. Failure shapes your character. It strengthens your emotional endurance, builds humility and wisdom. When you experience failure, it can feel personal. It can shake your confidence. It can make you question your abilities. But failure is not a statement about your worth. It is feedback about your approach. It says, this method didn't work, not you cannot succeed. And every mistake carries information. Every setback carries insight. If you are willing to learn, failure becomes a teacher instead of an enemy. It shows you where to improve. It pushes you to innovate. It forces you to grow beyond your comfort zone. The fear of failure stops many people from trying. They avoid risks because they want to protect their pride. But avoiding failure also means avoiding growth. You cannot improve without making mistakes. You cannot master something without struggling through it. Think of failure as resistance in a workout. Without resistance, muscles do not grow. Without challenges, strength does not develop. In the same way, without failure, resilience and wisdom cannot mature. There will be moments when you feel discouraged. Moments when your efforts seem wasted. Moments when quitting feels easier than continuing. But remember that preparation is often uncomfortable. Growth is rarely smooth. Progress is rarely perfect. Failure builds mental toughness. It forces you to manage disappointment. It trains you to stay calm under pressure. It teaches you to detach your identity from temporary results. Over time, you stop fearing mistakes and start embracing lessons. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? That shift in perspective transforms failure into preparation. It moves you from victimhood to empowerment. Every time you stand up after falling, your belief grows stronger. Every time you try again, your skills improve. Every time you persist, your confidence deepens. Failure may slow you down, but it does not have to stop you. When you understand that failure is part of the journey, you stop being ashamed of it. You begin to respect it. You realize it is shaping you into someone more capable, more disciplined, and more determined than before. Failure does not define your limits, it expands them. One of the greatest challenges anyone faces on the path to success is the doubt that comes from others. Friends, family, colleagues, or even strangers may question your choices, belittle your dreams, or dismiss your ideas as unrealistic. At times, their words may sting deeply, and their disbelief can echo in your mind long after they speak. But here is the truth: their doubt does not define your ability, your potential, or your future. People project their limitations because of their own fears. When someone tells you that's impossible, it often reflects their own doubts, their lack of courage, or their comfort with mediocrity. Their perception is filtered through their own experiences, not yours. What they see as unlikely is simply unfamiliar to them. They cannot envision your journey because it is yours alone to walk. Silencing your vision to appease others is a dangerous trap. When you prioritize external approval over your own convictions, you slowly lose touch with your purpose. Dreams are fragile, and when you constantly seek validation, they begin to wither. The world will always have opinions, and some will try to convince you that your aspirations are too big, too bold, or too risky. But those opinions are not facts. They are choices you can choose to ignore. Believing in your vision requires courage, especially when the majority cannot see what you see. Visionaries throughout history face skepticism, ridicule, and rejection. From inventors to entrepreneurs, artists to leaders, their ideas were often dismissed before they became celebrated. The difference was simpler. They refused to let doubt drown their inner voice. When others doubt you, it is not a sign to stop. It is a sign to persist. Let skepticism fuel your determination rather than extinguish it. Let criticism sharpen your focus instead of weakening your resolve. Every time someone says, you can't, remind yourself that countless people succeeded precisely because they ignored the doubters and acted anyway. It is also important to surround yourself with supporters, but not at the cost of your independent thinking. Encouragement is valuable, but it is your responsibility to believe in yourself even when encouragement is scarce. You must learn to trust your instincts, your preparation, and your passion more than the opinions of others. Doubt from others can sometimes feel personal, as if they are trying to sabotage your progress. But in most cases, it is a reflection of their fear or insecurity. People often fear what they cannot control or understand. When you encounter doubt, see it as a mirror of their mindset, not yours. Their skepticism does not limit your capabilities. Your vision is your own. It is the blueprint of your potential, your passion, and your purpose. Allowing anyone else to silence it is equivalent to surrendering your future. You must nurture your dreams with confidence, persistence, and clarity. Keep your vision alive by acting consistently, proving through effort and results that doubt is powerless against determination. Remember, the louder the doubt, the clearer your opportunity. The more people tell you something cannot be done, the more room there is for you to demonstrate that it can. Doubt is not a barrier. It is a challenge, an invitation to rise above the noise, and an opportunity to define success on your own terms. Choosing to ignore doubt does not mean you are blind to reality. It means you are selective about whose opinions matter. It means you weigh criticism carefully, learning what is constructive and discarding what is destructive. And it means you trust the vision that comes from your heart, not the doubts that come from fear. The world is full of voices trying to define what is possible and impossible for you. Do not give them that power. Speak to yourself with clarity, act with confidence, and let your vision guide your steps, regardless of what others say. When you refuse to let the doubt of others silence your vision, you create a life of authenticity, courage, and extraordinary potential. Your path becomes yours alone, and nothing, no skepticism, no criticism, no disbelief can take it away. Belief alone is not enough. It is powerful, yes. It ignites passion, fuels hope, and sets your intentions. But without action, belief remains nothing more than a wish. To truly turn belief into reality, You must pair it with consistent, focused action and the discipline to follow through. Even when circumstances are challenging or motivation fades, action is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. You may believe you are capable. You may feel inspired, but until you take steps, small or large, toward your goals, nothing changes. Every effort, every choice, every single step forward is a declaration that you trust your own abilities. It is proof that your belief is not just a fleeting feeling, but a committed decision to create the life you envision. Discipline is what sustains action when emotions falter. There will be days when motivation is low, when obstacles feel overwhelming, and when the easier path seems tempting. Discipline ensures you continue to work toward your goals even when excitement and energy are absent. It is the internal structure that turns fleeting enthusiasm into lasting progress. While motivation comes and goes, discipline remains constant, creating a momentum that carries you forward. Belief without action can lead to frustration. You may feel confident in your potential, but stagnant in results. It is through deliberate effort that belief is tested, refined, and strengthened. Action provides feedback. It shows you what works, what needs improvement, and where your true potential lies. Each attempt, whether successful or not, reinforces the connection between faith in yourself and the tangible outcomes you are capable of producing. Action and discipline also teach resilience. Every time you act in spite of fear, doubt, or uncertainty, you train your mind and body to endure challenges. You learn that discomfort is temporary and that persistence yields progress. Discipline becomes a habit, shaping your daily routine and aligning your life with your goals. Over time, the repeated practice of acting consistently strengthens your belief, creating a cycle where belief fuels action and action reinforces belief. Furthermore, action transforms abstract dreams into concrete milestones. A goal without steps is only imagination, but paired with structured action and unwavering discipline, it begins to take shape. Your belief becomes visible through results. Small wins accumulate into larger achievements. What once seemed impossible starts to feel achievable. The journey itself reinforces the notion that your capabilities are limitless. Belief also demands that you hold yourself accountable. Discipline requires you to face your own excuses honestly and take responsibility for your growth. It means saying, I will show up for myself, even when no one else is watching. It means prioritizing your goals over temporary comforts or distractions, understanding that long-term success is built on short-term sacrifices. Those who achieve extraordinary results are not necessarily more talented. They are more committed to consistent action. They act with purpose even when they don't feel like it. They maintain discipline even when the path is unclear. And through their persistent efforts, belief becomes more than just an idea. It becomes a living, breathing force that shapes reality. Belief, when combined with action and discipline, becomes unstoppable. Dreams cease to be mere fantasies. Goals are no longer distant or abstract. Challenges are no longer threats, but opportunities to test your dedication. Obstacles are no longer roadblocks, but lessons in patience and perseverance. Ultimately, action and discipline validate your belief. They demonstrate that your faith in yourself is not empty. It is active, intentional, and capable of producing results. They transform potential into performance, ideas into achievements, and hope into tangible success. Belief without action is like planting a seed and never watering it. Discipline without belief is like watering soil with no seed in it. But together, they create the fertile ground where extraordinary growth becomes inevitable. Consistency is one of the most underestimated powers on the journey to success. Many people believe that talent, luck, or sudden breakthroughs are the keys to achieving dreams, but the truth is far simpler and far more reliable. Consistent effort over time produces results that talent alone cannot match. Dreams, no matter how big or bold, remain intangible unless they are nurtured daily through focused, repeated action. Being consistent means showing up even when you don't feel like it. It means taking steps toward your goal every day, even when the path feels monotonous or progress seems slow. It is not about dramatic, one-time bursts of effort. It is about persistent, deliberate action repeated over weeks, months, and years. Each small step compounds, building momentum that eventually propels you past obstacles that once seemed insurmountable. Consistency creates trust within yourself. When you commit to the regular effort, your mind and body start to adapt. You begin to prove to yourself that you are capable of follow through, that you are reliable, and that you can be counted on to pursue your vision no matter what. This internal trust strengthens belief, deepening your confidence and resilience. Consistency also builds mastery. Every skill, every craft, every habit improves with repetition. A single attempt rarely produces excellence, but daily practice, learning, improving, refining, and adjusting gradually transforms imperfection into competence. Over time, small improvements accumulate into significant results, and the dreams that once felt distant start to take tangible form. The power of consistency is often invisible at first. Results may be slow to appear. Progress may seem imperceptible. This is where most people give up, mistaking the lack of immediate reward as failure. But those who persist understand that success is the sum of repeated actions, not isolated efforts. Consistency turns invisible work into visible achievements, slowly but surely bridging the gap between aspiration and reality. Consistency is also a form of discipline and commitment. It means resisting distractions, avoid and refusing to let temporary setbacks derail your progress. It means honoring your goals with daily effort, even when motivation wanes. It is the practice of staying true to your vision, treating your dreams as a priority, and never allowing inertia or excuses to pull you off course. Moreover, consistent effort inspires opportunity. When you show up regularly, people begin to notice your dedication. Doors open, connections form, and unexpected possibilities arise. The world responds to persistence because it signals reliability, competence, and seriousness. Your steady progress becomes a magnet for support, guidance, and collaboration. Consistency also strengthens resilience. By committing to daily effort, you learn to face obstacles without surrendering. You develop patience to endure delays and setbacks. You cultivate the mental stamina to keep going when results are not immediate. Each day of consistent action becomes a training ground for perseverance, teaching you that persistence is more powerful than temporary discomfort or doubt. In essence, consistency is the engine that drives long-term success. It transforms raw effort into meaningful results, fleeting ideas into realized dreams, and potential into tangible achievement. Without consistency, even the most brilliant vision risks remaining a fantasy. But with it, every small action compounds into unstoppable progress. Consistency does not demand perfection. It demands commitment. It is about showing up, learning, adapting, and persisting. It is about valuing progress over instant gratification and understanding extraordinary outcomes are rarely instant. They are the reward for unyielding dedication, repeated day after day. Through consistency, your dreams move from imagination into reality. Step by step, day by day, your vision takes shape. The impossible becomes possible not through luck, but through the relentless power of persistent effort. The mind is the most powerful tool you will ever possess. Every action, every decision, and every result begins with a thought. The way you think about yourself, your abilities, and your circumstances directly influences the reality you create. Your mindset is not just a reflection of your life. It is the architect of. Negative thoughts act like anchors, holding you back from pursuing your goals with full force. When you tell yourself, I can't, or I'm not good enough, your brain interprets these messages as truth. You begin to act cautiously, hesitate when opportunities appear, and avoid taking risks. Over time, these limiting thoughts become self-fulfilling prophecies, ensuring that the very outcomes you fear manifest in your life. Conversely, positive and empowering thoughts create momentum. When you affirm your potential and visualize success, you train your mind to recognize possibilities instead of barriers. Thoughts like, oh, I am capable of learning, or I can overcome this challenge, rewire your brain to seek solutions rather than dwell on problems. This mental shift increases your confidence, your creativity, and your willingness to act. Your thoughts also influence your emotional state. Persistent worry, though, or fear generates stress and hesitation, which can cloud judgment and slow decision-making. Optimistic, constructive thinking fosters clarity, focus, and courage, making it easier to navigate challenges and pursue opportunities with energy and resilience. The quality of your thoughts is directly linked to the quality of your actions. A mind consumed with excuses produces inconsistent effort, procrastination, and avoidance. A mind aligned with belief, determination, and focus produces consistent action, problem solving, and growth. In essence, the patterns of your thinking become the patterns of your life. It is not enough to simply hope for better outcomes. You must actively manage your thoughts. This requires self-awareness, reflection, and intentionality. Observe the mental patterns that emerge when you face difficulties or make decisions. Identify thoughts that limit your progress and consciously replace them with thoughts that empower you. Over time, this practice strengthens your ability to control your mindset and direct your energy toward achieving your goals. Visualization is a powerful technique that highlights the impact of thoughts on outcomes. When you consistently imagine your goals, picture yourself overcoming obstacles, and mentally rehearse success, you are priming your brain to recognize opportunities, take action, and persist. The mind begins to treat these mental images as attainable realities, making your actions more aligned with your vision. Your thoughts also shape your perception of the world. Two people can face the same challenge, yet respond in completely different ways depending on their mindset. One sees failure, the other sees feedback. One sees limitations, the other sees opportunities. By shaping your internal dialogue, you control not just your actions, but your interpretation of every event, influencing the trajectory of your life in profound ways. Surrounding yourself with supportive influences further strengthens the impact of positive thinking. Engaging with people, books, and experiences that reinforce constructive thoughts helps you maintain focus and resilience. Conversely, negative influences can reinforce doubt and fear, making it harder to maintain belief in yourself. Awareness of these external mental inputs is crucial to protecting your mindset. Ultimately, your outcomes are a mirror of your inner world. Change the quality of your thoughts, and you change the direction of your life. By cultivating empowering focus and determined thinking, you not only prepare yourself to act with confidence, but also attract circumstances, opportunities, and people that align with your vision. Thoughts are seeds. If you plant doubt, fear, and negativity, you will harvest limitation and struggle. If you plant belief, determination, and optimism, you will harvest growth, success, and possibility. The life you desire begins not in the world around you, but in the mind within you. Confidence is not something you are simply born with. It is cultivated over time through action, perseverance, and learning from experience. It is the product of repeatedly testing yourself, facing challenges, and proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you imagine. True confidence comes from competence, and competence is built through effort. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, you plant a seed of confidence. Each attempt, whether it succeeds or fails, adds to your internal evidence that you can handle challenges. Even small accomplishments matter because they accumulate, showing you that progress is possible and that you are capable of overcoming obstacles. Confidence grows quietly, almost imperceptibly, as you push yourself to try again after setbacks. Repeated effort teaches you that mastery comes gradually. You do not become skilled or confident overnight. Each time you practice, you refine your abilities, correct mistakes, and understand your limits. As these limits expand through persistence, confidence grows naturally. You start to trust your capacity to handle difficult situations because you have repeatedly faced them and survived, even thrived. Effort also builds mental resilience. Confidence is not the absence of fear, doubt, or uncertainty. It is the willingness to act despite. Every effort you make in the face of fear strengthens your ability to stay composed, think clearly, and take decisive action. The more you do it, the more you internalize the truth that fear and doubt are temporary, while your skills and persistence are permanent. Confidence through effort is self-reinforced. Each success, no matter how small, boosts your self-belief, motivating you to take on more ambitious challenges. Each failure, when approached as a lesson rather than a verdict, provides insights that make your next effort stronger. Over time, this cycle creates a steady rise in confidence that is rooted in reality, not just wishful thinking or empty bravado. Effort also shifts your focus from seeking external validation to building internal assurance. Many people look for compliments, approval, or recognition to feel confident, but these are unreliable and fleeting. Real confidence comes from knowing that you have put in the work, that you have tried, and that you have the ability to continue growing. It is an internal compass that guides your actions regardless of what others think. Confidence gained through effort is durable. It does not waver because of a single setback or the opinion of others. Because it is forged in the fire of repeated action, it remains intact even when circumstances are challenging. You learn to trust yourself, to rely on your preparation, and to remain committed to your path even when uncertainty looms. This kind of confidence empowers you to take risks and embrace opportunities that others might avoid. When you know that you have the capacity to learn, adapt, and persevere, you are more willing to step into the unknown. You become proactive rather than reactive, choosing action over hesitation, growth over stagnation. In essence, confidence is the natural outcome of effort meeting persistence. Every step you take toward improvement, every challenge you confront, and every lesson you absorb becomes a building block of self-assurance. Over time, these small but consistent efforts transform not only your skills, but also your belief in your ability to succeed. The key is to never stop trying. Confidence is not a fixed state. It grows as long as you continue to act, to challenge yourself, and to prove to yourself that you are capable. The person you become through repeated effort is far stronger, wiser, and more prepared than the person who waits for confidence to appear without action.